red bad, green good.
Angry face, yes.
I have severe ADHD, so it's perfect.
It helps.
So when we actually cleaned that up, and after like a month, they ended up getting pregnant. And they'd been trying for 5 years. Like that's how impactful oral health can be.
Okay, wait, I need to deep dive. Hey guys, welcome back to Dog Mom Podcast. Today we have a very special guest, Lindsey Campbell from TEEF. And today we're going to be talking about dog dental health, which I know is a very big concern for a lot of pet parents. So let's get into it. Thank you so much for being here, Lindsey, and thank you for coming onto the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I wanted to kind of talk to you about, dental health. We know it's important to brush our dog's teeth, but I want to ask you a little bit more about your experience and how you got started in TEEF and, what we can do as pet parents to ensure oral health in our pets.
Yeah, I think I'll start off by saying people don't understand how important it is for your pet's overall health and ours, for that matter. We've been taught to just brush our teeth and, use mouthwash, floss, and those things are important, but there's really a new understanding, especially from a lot of the studying that we've been doing on different types of animals, humans, even exotic animals, that the implications of like dental health and oral health are far reaching into overall health. Everything from kidney disease to cancers to Alzheimer's, it's very impactful. So the question of how did I get into this is kind of an interesting question, because my background, I'm Emily Stein's co-founder. She's obviously the scientist, microbiology background, rheumatology background, even immunology too. So she's definitely the science side of the brain. I am more the marketing business side, and my job, I like to say, is to commercialize Emily's brain and kind of do the geek translation for what she's trying to say. Because every time she tries to explain something to me about, every kind of bacteria there is and what they're doing, I'm just like, okay, can you get out some crayons and just show me what you mean?
You're like, label this as bad, so we know that's bad.
Red bad, green good.
Angry face, yes.
So it's been fun though to really just kind of take this really, I guess, groundbreaking kind of technology that she has and bring it to people like us, right? Because we all want the best for ourselves, for our pets. I mean, I want my dog to live to be about 102. So anything that's going to help her do that is something I want to do. So that's when she came up with this technology back in, I think she started studying this in 2012. I met her back in 2003. We were in the Bay Area in grad school out there. And when she founded this tech, she kind of reached out to me because I was at Wells Fargo at the time doing marketing. And she goes, I think I really have found something here. I want to run it by you, see what you think. How would we explain this to the world? And, so that all started there, but we started in human, right? Because she founded the technology solving for her grandmother's health issues. She had a stroke after she had a tooth extracted because she couldn't take care of her teeth. She had RA and basically was embarrassed that she couldn't take care of her teeth. So it got really bad decay. She had that tooth extracted and had a stroke the very next day that just kind of took out the entire side of her body. And Emily, knowing what she knew, and she was really tight with her grandmother, flew out to Wisconsin to basically visit her and then take a swab of her mouth to see what was going on. Because Emily knows with her background that the real problem is the bacteria. It's what they're doing. It's when they're escaping into the bloodstream, what that's causing. So she took that swab back to the Bay Area to her lab and started just kind of tossing different nutrients at the biofilm. The biofilm is like the layer of bacteria that lives everywhere, right, on our teeth and all those things. So she started using nutrients that she knew were safe and they wouldn't contraindicate any medications for her grandmother and things like that, to start manipulating bacteria in favor of human health and animal health. So meaning that they'd start producing beneficial byproducts instead of harmful ones like acids, plaque, things like that. So she developed a mint, actually, I can show you that. He's got developed a mint for her grandmother to use that would literally, she could just pop it in. She didn't have to brush necessarily, she couldn't, and just suck on it. And basically what would happen is those ingredients would put oral bacteria on a keto diet. So they would switch them away from eating carbs and sugars out of her diet and switch them to eating amino acids and proteins out of her diet. And those byproducts are what I'm talking about that are healthier. They're, anti-inflammatory, they're less stinky, they're just overall better for you. So in that process, after she did that, and we were kind of tooling around with how we bring this to market in human, she ends up having a rescue pup that she grabbed from Washington, a rescue in Washington, and started driving her back down. Her name was Tinsley, driving her back down to the Bay Area. And basically during that drive, when she had picked her up, they were like, she needs a dental cleaner, a brushing. She had such severe dental decay that she developed sepsis on the drive.
Oh, wow.
So,
like on the drive home?
On the drive home. And Emily said she could smell her, like she had to roll the windows down, like her breath was so bad. And so she ended up having to take her to emergency care, have 21 teeth extracted, as it turns out, and had 3 months of IV and dosing antibiotics. So it was just kind of a nightmare. And again, like the importance of what can happen when that is neglected is severe. As sepsis, she was probably had maybe 2 more days to live if that weren't attended to. So long story short.
We love the long story. Give us the long story.
I should say. Is that basically we got pulled into pet because of the pull from pet parents, because everybody just kind of feels helpless because it's very difficult to brush your pet's teeth. Everybody's looking for a safer kind of solution rather than, dental treats and bones and stuff like that are fine, but they're chock full of carbohydrates, and carbohydrates cause dental disease. And then there's also other, ones that have antiseptics in them and different other things that you just don't want to be ingesting every day. So basically we just stripped out the flavors from this and put it in powder form so that you're added to their food or whatever you want to add it to. Some people are putting it in a syringe and squirting it in their mouth. People get creative with it. They're making ice cubes, putting it on pup cups. So that's it's been a really fun journey, and that's pretty much how we got here. And we've had a great success so far as people just, well, first of all, people love the name, but
yes,
but we won a number of awards for innovation. And, I think people are starting to recognize that the safety along with the science is really a big thing that people are looking for.
Yeah, and full disclosure, you sent me a couple of packages for me to try out, and I have the one where you put it into the water, and I also have the powder where you put it on their food, and I've been doing that with my dogs, and I've noticed that their breath has smelled so much better. Like I said, I have a 16-year-old golden doodle, so I mean, we're not getting into the mouth. He's not letting us anywhere near the mouth or the nails. It's just, he's just living out his best years now, and he doesn't want anybody touching any of the sensitive areas. So it's been really nice to not be just hit by the wave of a smell when he comes into the room, So, and then I also have a 3-year-old Dalmatian who, she does have a lot of, we'll get into this later, but she has a lot of like plaque on her teeth. Not necessarily plaque, but like discoloration. They're kind of like brown spots, like on the sides here. Not necessarily like the thick white.
It's not plaque. Like murder.
Yeah, the
Okay.
tartar. So we can get into that on like how important is that and when do we need to, be um, alerted as dog parents to really up our game with
Right.
the dental care. But yeah, you have like the powder that goes into the water and the powder that goes on the food, and both work in the same way, correct?
They do. The fastest, basically, efficacy you'll see is in water. That's
Mm.
just a fact because the idea is to keep oral bacteria on that keto diet that our ingredients put it on as many times a day as you can. And we know that's not realistic for some
Mhm.
people. Some pets don't drink water, things like that. So we came out with the treats. It's just a treat powder that you can just sprinkle on food. You can sprinkle it on a lick pad. I put it on my hand and given it to my dog as a little. She loves it. So we wanted to have a more, I guess, fun and delicious way to administer our dental product. So
Yeah, for like a lick mat, you can put some peanut butter down or some yogurt,
yeah,
and then just sprinkle that on top as an extra treat, basically.
absolutely.
So the technology, does it kill bacteria? Because that's how, in my mind, how additive something works, right? For someone who doesn't really know about the ins and outs, it just seems to me that like these products and how I understand it is that it kills the bad bacteria. But how does it actually
Right.
really work?
Well, and that's what we've always known, right? So you're
Yeah.
not alone in that. The difference with this is that we are boosting the growth of beneficial bacteria to outcompete the bad
Mhm.
in the biofilms that live in the mouth. So we increase kind of the diversity of like species of bacteria that live there. And I guess we're not killing bacteria, but we're kind of starving out the bad guys
Mm.
because we have one ingredient in there. It's a soluble fiber, but it's a postbiotic. So it's already been fermented by bacteria. So it can't be fermented again, meaning it can't be eaten again by bacteria. So it plugs up the guys that think it's a sugar molecule and they don't know how to release it. So they just kind of it's like grabbing a big Krispy Kreme donut and trying to stuff it in your face. And then you're too stubborn to let go. So you can't technically eat it, right? So it's that like kind of 1-2 punch that we do. So when we're stopping the bad guys from eating sugar, and that's their main nutrient source, but then we're also giving the good guys, the good bacteria, 2 prebiotics of vitamin B6 and an L-arginine to kick in their ability to start eating proteins and amino acids out of the pet's diet so they can survive that environment, that shift that we're causing in the oral microbiome, so that they will actually grow and again outcompete the bad that are living there. So
Right.
it's
And when we think about the word biofilm, it seems like a bad word, as in like, oh, there's bad things in the biofilm, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just you want to promote good and diverse bacteria in the biofilm, so it's like the bad bacteria is not overpowering and creating
exactly.
those bad environments.
Yeah, it was unbeknownst to a lot of people, there is such a good thing. There is a good thing such as like good plaque, healthy plaque that you can have. So if
That
it's
seems like an
true,
oxymoron, right?
I know it does, but you basically, it's like an apartment complex, and you've got that's your biofilm, right? And you want the good tenants living there, and they to chase out the bad. I guess that's the best way I can explain it.
You want the people paying on time,
Yeah, the ones
taken
like
care
they're
of,
clean, you
right?
know.
They're not chain smokers.
Right. Cooking delicious food. You can smell that. Yeah. So
Understood. So, back to my question of like, my dog having some discoloration in her teeth, or like, some people see plaque. When does it get like you have to really work on your dog's teeth? Because I hear a lot of it's very important, we know, to brush our dog's teeth, but as you know, it's like very difficult to like twice a day pin your dog. I mean, some dogs are totally okay with it, and some dogs is just they just keep chewing that toothbrush, and then the toothpaste it's just
Or they'll straight up
gone.
the other way. Yeah.
It's gone. The second you put it into the mouth, the toothpaste is nowhere to be found. So you're kind of taking the toothbrush out and trying to reapply the toothpaste, and it's just very, very difficult. And how important is it to brush the dog's teeth, right? Because when I'm thinking about brushing the dog's teeth, it's just removing like the extra food particles, kind of interrupting that biofilm. So how would you say is the importance of brushing a dog's teeth?
I mean, I'm never going to say it's not important. If you can do it, do it. It's just the unfortunate reality is I think less than 2 to 3% of people actually brush their pets' teeth. And for the various reasons you just mentioned, it's difficult, it's time consuming. The pets normally hate it unless you've got a rare one.
Yeah.
And people don't really enjoy it that much either, right? So if you can do it, do it. If you cannot, think of I think, and this is my opinion, but bully sticks for mechanical removal are pretty good. They're not too hard. They don't break teeth unless they're not made well. But then I would stick to the water additive type of thing, because when you get it all over the mouth, drinking water, it can start to loosen up that plaque and stuff like that. There's a rumor out there that kibble is a good mechanical removal tool that can be used, but hard kibble is not that. It's high carbohydrate. Carbohydrate gets stuck in their teeth, and that exacerbates dental issues. So I don't know who started that rumor, but I don't. From our findings in our studies, that's not the case. But and also get your pet started on it as early as possible, because as soon as you smell that stink in their breath, that means that bacteria are doing destructive things in their mouth and causing that. I started my pup on TEEF when she was about a year, and she's turning 10, and basically she's never had to have a dental cleaning, which is, she's a little Pomsky, so that's kind of unusual. But I think it's a testament to, if you can keep a consistency with TEEF, or, an occasional bully stick, or even just like chicken treats that are just chicken and not a bunch of other sugars and stuff in it, I think that helps remove those things. So, but again, I mean, brushing too if you can, but let's be realistic, right?
Yeah. And I used to give my dog like greenies or those type of dental treats that are marketed for cleaning, or because it has like a mint flavor to kind of freshen your dog's breath. But I've noticed, because my last dog, Birdie, her teeth were kind of brittle, and she had to have a tooth extracted when she was very young. And then she had like a silver tooth for a little while.
Wow.
So I just don't give my dogs those like harder treats anymore, because I'm just afraid that they might have a genetic predisposition to like crack their teeth on something. So what do you say about those type of?
I don't think they're really helpful for dental health. They're chock full of carbs. They're chock full of sometimes chemicals. Part of me is just a firm believer if you don't want to consume it yourself, I wouldn't give it to your dog.
Yeah.
Or your pet, for that matter. It's just that, when we do our dental care routines, we use toothpastes and mouthwashes with antiseptics and those things in them, right? But we can spit them out. Pets have to ingest that stuff.
Right.
Because they can't spit, obviously. So that's just kind of how to think about it. And again, when you're looking at chickpea bases, corn, any kind of like carb heavy like base for that treat, that's not good for dental health.
Right. So because when I think of those type of dental treats, I think of them as more of like a cookie and not really like for dental cleaning, right? It's
Right.
just it's just maybe like for a very short time, your dog's mouth smells a little bit more minty, smells a little bit better. But to me, they're kind of just like a cookie, like a milk bone or a
Yeah.
treat or something like that. And you're giving it to your dog to eat as a treat and less of a dental procedure like brushing their teeth or something like that. And even so, I'm not sure about like the toothpaste, like how does that work? Because they have to eat it, right? Um,
Right.
so,
Yeah, I think they've gotten better, a little better with the toothpaste to kind of take the chemicals out of them. Like some enzymatic ones are decent and things like
mhm.
that. But yeah, I mean, again, you're just kind of with the minty stuff that you're just kind of masking something for at the surface level just for a small amount of time. It doesn't mean you're changing how the bacteria are living or doing or behaving, or you know what I mean? They're just going to consume those things and keep doing what they're doing as far as producing destructive byproducts. So
Yeah, and I think as a pet parent, I've learned seen that, not because I know anything about like bacteria, but just from observing my pets after
yes,
giving them the treats and their behavior long term, right? It's the
yeah.
thing comes back, the plaque is not gone,
Mhm.
and it for my dog especially, might break their teeth. So
Right,
personally, I've stopped doing that. And, for a long time, I wasn't really doing much except brushing their teeth when I think of it, which is maybe like, I don't know, once a week or something like that.
right,
So I think I do want to do a little bit better on, ensuring oral health because as your dog ages, like I just cannot put them under. I think the last time I put Kramer under was when he was like 10 or 12, something like that. But,
yeah.
after that, I don't really want to risk putting him under for a teeth cleaning anymore.
Right, right.
Yeah.
I think I guess general consensus is if they're over like 11, it
Hmm.
gets risky, like a lot riskier.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I've never wanted to put my dog under for a cleaning, and luckily I haven't had to. But
Yeah.
yeah, it gets a little scarier when they get older. So
Right, right. And I think the last time he was under, it was for another issue, and he was already under. So
mhm,
they had time
yeah,
before, the anesthesia came, he woke up that to do a dental cleaning. But, it is a popular service where people do put their dogs under to do the dental cleaning because it's important to have good dental health.
yeah,
And, if you think about it, if they say, oh, 11 is the age where we don't really recommend doing that anymore, from 11, and then my dog now is 16, so like 5 years that you're
right.
left to care for an aging dog's teeth is not easy at all. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the age varies by breed, but yeah, we get a lot of people reaching out to us about that. Of I don't want to put my dog under. What can I do to ensure this works? And we kind of like, well, do both. Do the water and the topper. Like just trying to give it the best chance you can to like really be effective at. It can't reverse like severe dental decay or anything like that, but it can certainly stop it from progressing. So that's kind of our goal, to prolong that.
Right. And I've seen people say that, you shouldn't let your dog lick your face because your dog's saliva has a lot of bacteria. How true is that? Not that it's going to change my behavior in any way, but I just want to know, is that true or not?
Oh, I wish Emily was here right now. She would have like so much to say about this, because we actually can give our pets periodontal disease too if we have it. So there is a whole housing swap that happens with oral bacteria. We just actually, as kind of a case study, we treated a family down in Southern Cal. Basically, they were having trouble getting pregnant, and so we put them on our humans on our human product, and we put the pets, because we were like, you need to put your pets on it too. So when we actually cleaned that up, and after like a month, they ended up getting pregnant, and they'd been trying for 5 years. Like that's how impactful oral health can be.
Okay, wait, I need to I need to deep dive. Okay, first of all, how did they come to you with this issue?
I believe they saw Emily on a podcast, and she was talking about the household connection of microbes. And they reached out to us just saying, because what we have isn't like something prescribed or anything like this. Is very easy to access over the counter, and it's very safe. So they're like, well, what the heck? Let's give it a try. See if oral health will impact that, because it can impact men's health, women's health. Oral health impacts that as well. So we gave it a try, and boom. And then they laughed when we asked them to put the pet on it, because they're like, why? Because of that fact that all those microbes are shared.
Wow. So we can transmit our oral diseases into our dogs, and our dogs can also transmit theirs into us as well.
Yes. So like cavities and gingivitis, they are all spreadable diseases. These are microbes that jump everywhere. So they're all contagious.
I have
So be careful who you're kissing.
I've never heard that before.
Yep.
Wow, that's interesting. So if you have a cavity, maybe you shouldn't be kissing your dog, because you might give it to her.
You could, I don't think dogs can get cavities per se, but yes, if you will spread that bug to your pet, yes. And they'll get it. It just, they might not be affected the same way.
Right.
But Pheromonas gingivalis, that's the culprit. That's gum disease associated. Those can go back and forth easily. So I would avoid, if you can, kissing your dog, but I can't say that I completely follow that either, even knowing what I know, which is shameful, but whatever. Life is short.
I mean, even if you gave me that advice, I'm like, I will thank you for the advice, but I will just put it right here.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Okay. And what else can we do, as a family, to kind of prevent these type of diseases from spreading? For example, if we do have these bacteria, what should we be doing to be preventing the spread amongst our family members?
I'm not trying to hard sell our products, but but I'm not. Honestly, I'm going to send you the white paper, and it'll show you that we literally can decrease the guys that cause gum disease, cavities. We suppress those, and we grow the beneficial. And I haven't seen any comparisons we've done, anything else that can do the kind of the switch. Mostly everything just gets killed, right? Everything, the idea is just kill, carpet bomb everybody. Mm-hmm. But the problem is that they grow back just as angry and destructive as they used to be. So it's just about changing their behavior, and that can suppress that growth. So it just naturally, that's what's just so elegant about it, and so just impressive to me that she kind of came up with this with a whole different state of mind of, we don't need to kill, we need to they're an unruly team, and we need to be the coach with the ingredients and get them to behave and act the way we need them to act. So that it's a totally different way of approaching it, and it's super effective. So
yeah, and when you're thinking about using a toothpaste for us humans, using fluoride toothpaste or something, mm-hmm. Does the fluoride act as to kill the bacteria in your mouth for that point?
I think it is an antiseptic in a way. I don't know the actual mechanism of action of fluoride, to be honest.
Yeah, because I know in some health circles, they say fluoride isn't great for.
Yeah, some people hate it. So
for a toothpaste. So there's all these other natural options, but I'm not even sure. I know there's a lot of toothpaste with xylitol in it
But xylitol is also harmful for dogs. So
Right.
keep your toothpaste away, like on the upper cabinets.
Right.
Because, if a dog ingests like a xylitol gum or something, that could cause, that could be deadly.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I try not to buy anything with xylitol in the house just in case. I have like little kids too, so I don't want them to be, um, I don't know. I don't think
Yeah.
they would, but like squeezing out toothpaste for the dog to lick.
Right. Right.
You
That's
never
smart.
know. But then,
Yeah.
I just wonder how fluoride and like those type of more natural, like maybe not natural, but like alternative toothpaste, how does that work in like a human's mouth?
God, I wish I was better educated on this because I honestly don't. I don't know the mechanism of action. All I know is that xylitol kind of functioned as a little bit of a replacement for fluoride,
Mm,
but it was more in an antiseptic manner because it's a sugar alcohol, so
yeah.
bacteria but bacteria have now learned how to metabolize xylitol. So they are still now able to turn it into acid and plaque. Bacteria are smart and they're resourceful and they figure things out. That's why, we've been studying how to basically the postbiotic that we use is something that they haven't been able to design around because it's their main nutrient source. Whereas sugar alcohol is just kind of like another sugar for them. So it's just, but yeah, sorry, I can't speak to the fluoride
Yeah.
things.
No, it's better to say we don't know than to, say like things, and we can look into it after
Yeah.
as well. So what's kind of where in the business building process are you guys in? Are you trying to expand your direct to consumer? Are you trying to get into retail locations? What are some challenges right now for you guys?
Good question. I mean, we're a pretty small team, so we kind of have our priorities. We have direct to consumers at the top. Next is like business to business. So, like you said, retailers, veterinarians. We have probably like 400 different clinics across the country. We've been able to get into Singapore, Malaysia, New Zealand, Canada, obviously, the Netherlands. Sorry, I'm pointing to the map in my head.
Yeah.
And we're about to launch in the UK and in Australia as well. So we're kind of omni-channel,
Yeah.
but
That's what you gotta be to survive right now. Yeah. For
most
sure.
of our day-to-day effort though is mainly digital, and then we just kind of, I would say, once a week I'll try to, I'll just farm any incoming questions from retailers or vets who want to become partners of ours, and we're happy to have them. So
Yeah, and for your product, you don't need any prescription
correct.
to get it. And are there any like regulations, or in the countries that you mentioned, are there any regulating bodies that oversee these type of, dental additives or supplements for pets?
Yeah, there's a lot of like agricultural regulatory things, especially with the treat powder that we have because there's protein based. So there's a lot of restrictions around like what type of protein can come in and how it's sourced and all those different things. So there is a lot of kind of back end work that we have to do to make sure that we're compliant.
Mhm.
The country fits what we're doing too. But yeah, over in Europe, I mean, the UK, my biggest problem right now is VAT, the VAT,
Mm. Yes.
like the taxes and the,
Yeah.
um, but it's an easy process. It's just about, dedicating the time to kind of just focus and do that for a little bit. But then I get distracted over here with like the social media and the newsletters, like
Of course.
busy
You have
doing
to
that.
wear many hats for
Yeah.
sure.
I love it though. I have severe ADHD, so it's perfect.
It helps. Sometimes I'm like deep diving, and I get into like this hole, and I wish I had, I want to do multiple projects and I can't. My brain just doesn't work that way anymore. So, And I think a difficult job for you guys is also to educate the customer.
Yeah.
So it's good that you're explaining it so easily to me, because for me, I'm like not science minded. So when you're talking about bacteria, just thinking of like little bugs that crawl over your teeth.
Right. Right. Well, and that's actually, it's interesting you said that, because when you say little bugs, right? So when our dosing of our product is so tiny, you've seen it, you've used it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people just are very confused by that, because even if it's like anything from a Great Dane to a Chihuahua, it's that same size scoop. And people are like, how is that possible? And what we have to remind people of is that we're dosing bacteria, not the pet. So it doesn't matter the size of the pet, because the bacteria are all the same size. They're minuscule, so it needs a minuscule amount. It's more about the frequency of dosing and not the dosing size, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah, I didn't really think about that. It's just a tiny little scoop in water. You're not kind of like a Great Dane, like you're not treating the Great Dane, you're treating the little bugs on their teeth.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes total sense. I didn't even think about that. And have you had any, I know you talked about the family that was able to get pregnant, but are there any other like heartwarming or stories that stand out for you since you've been working here?
Yeah, there's quite a few actually, but another one of my favorites was we had somebody who had frequent UTIs ask us about it, because again, it's starting to be better known that UTIs, women's health, men's health, all these different things are affected by the oral microbes. We were able to clear up the problem with they were getting like chronic UTIs, like frequently, probably every other week type of thing, and they'd have to get antibiotics.
That's painful. Yeah.
And once they started our treatment, I shouldn't even call it a treatment, but they started using our human lozenges and then the water additive for humans too. And after 2 weeks, everything was cleared up, and they haven't had one since, and they've been on it for 6 months. So it's just, again, just the oral health and the implications downstream too are just awesome. And then we have, on the dental side of things, we've had a number of people saying like, I thought I had to bring my pet to the vet for a cleaning. Vet said, I don't know what you're doing, we keep it up, they don't need a cleaning. And I think a lot of people get anxiety about, again, putting their pet under, like we discussed. IBD issues, even like, because when you're cleaning up the mouth, you clean up the gut a little bit too.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. That's what I've heard, is like the bacteria in your mouth and your gut, and like a lot of your overall wellness is related to the gut, right? So people's like, how do I clean up my gut? I hear that all the time. How do you fix your gut? So maybe oral dental health is part of the whole fixing your gut.
It is. I mean, this is the start of the gut, right?
Right. That's where the things go into the gut.
Yeah, exactly. So and we swallow, I think it's like Emily said, it was like 16 billion bacteria a day type of thing. So when you're swallowing the correct type of bacteria, that carries down to the gut. So it's helped with IBD for some kidney issues for a couple cats. So I mean, we get good anecdotal stuff to kind of just proof of point, I guess.
Yeah,
proof
for sure.
of efficacy is the way to say it. But yeah, it's fun to see that happen. So
yeah, and last question for me is, what is your and Emily's definition of success of TEEF? Like, what do you hope to accomplish overall?
Honestly, we are looking to get this in the mouths of everybody, including humans and pets. I think we'd like to be almost the new fluoride or xylitol, not for pets, obviously, but let's call it fluoride, where, because we're looking, we out-license some formulations to partners too. so that, they have a whole new market that they are servicing, right? And so that's the ultimate goal, is to really just beat this whole plague of dental disease that causes so much pain and suffering for humans, animals, and everybody. So that's ultimately our goal. It'd be nice to make some money doing it too. But no, that's, we're kind of altruistic that way, where we're just
make the money so that you can get it into more people's mouths.
Yeah, exactly.
And kind of using it as like the new pioneer to brushing your teeth, right? An alternative to or an addition to brushing and
like an amplification. Let's call it an amplification of brushing, right? So you've got to remove the stuff, but you've got to change how the bacteria are behaving as well. So that's why, like, we did the toothpaste tablets too, so that literally it's a double whammy for a human. You know what I mean? You can just pop it in, brush. So you're changing their behavior and you're doing the mechanical removal.
Because I think the mechanical movement is also like building good habits, right?
Exactly.
I'm trying to teach my kids, you got to brush your teeth, twice a day, building those good habits to, hopefully a long life with less suffering for your teeth. Okay. Thank you so much, Lindsey, for coming onto the show. This was so informative and helpful. We have a offer for our listeners, and I'll include it below, and I'll link all of their social media as well as your website. So thank you so much for coming on, and until next time.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Bye.